Industrial distributional spatial establishment depending over the capitalistic hegemony laying meager importance over the socialistic ideology have no certain consideration for industrial delimiting regional parameters. Industrial delimitation comprise manufacturing unit quantitative magnitude, factory staff's working numbers, manufacturing unit demographic information, percentage of industrial class working data with respect to the total occupational structure of the economy, industrial resource-based statistics, energy consumption value records, environmental impact assessment constraints issue consideration example industrial impact on urbanization, tangible as well as intangible assets value related data. Production inflation comparative industrial linkages. Professor Lokanathan emphasized spatial distribution geographic factors of industrial site location crucial landscape as well as industrial labor's migration trends. Professor Prakash Rao analyzed geographic factors. Professor M R Choudhary considered several manufacturing categories locational development with industrial estate policy formulation with a resource-based analysis for growth of small-scale industry along with large-scale industrial decentralization facilities criteria. Professor Galina Sdadiuk explored the requirement of different industrial locational factors of production. Professor R G Giddadhubbali elaborated economic regions development emphasized by Soviet elites and analyzed 18 economic regions of the former Very state. Industrial development through recent technology progressively evolving in Indian perspectives, primarily through 5 years plans improvement policies of various industries undertaken, there is industrial conglomeration consideration more effective than the uniform concentration. Different geographers have classified Indian industrial regions namely Professor P. Karan and Professor W. M. Jenkins into 5 major, 8 minor industrial regions and 13 minor industrial districts. Professor A Das Gupta considered production localization extensions for the recognition of 4 major and 2 minor regions. Professor J. E. Spencer and Professor W. L. Thomas categorized 4 major industrial regions on the ever-changing industrial site and situation along with 2 secondary industrial regions and 2 traditional handicrafts centers as well as 10 agricultural processing centers. Professor R L Singh recognized 11 industrial regions. Professor B N Sinha classified 3 categories of industrial regions according to industrial workers' capacity numbers as major being 150,000 magnitude, minor industrial region having at least 25,000 laborers and industrial districts up to that very quantity. 5 major, 14 minor and 12 industrial districts have been identified. The Center of Monitoring Indian Economy in early 80s considering a 10,000 capacity identified 111 industrial centers across the nation. The industrial ruins and management studies are least important for industrial research, having a persistent trade balance deficit in terms of USD, export-import, industrial production in India mainly dominated by manufacturing sector, blue-collar employer, industrial factory units are biggest established in Tamil Nadu, thereafter Gujarat that being also richest in invested capital, then Maharashtra being second in invested capital and third in terms of factory units, fourth being Andhra Pradesh, fifth Uttar Pradesh, thereafter Telangana sixth and Karnataka seventh, thereafter Punjab being 8th with Haryana 9th in terms of factory units, Rajasthan manages for 10th rank for factory units, West Bengal 11th, Bihar being 16th, Delhi being 17th with a 3,259 factory units followed by Odisha wealthier in invested capital, Meghalaya 158 factories units not being observable through choropleth map. Carbon trading through limiting. Professor Joseph Fourier's greenhouse gas emission involves earning thereby investment in lower emission projects being called as carbon offset or offset trading, as well as emission trading facilitates the saving earned by a lower emitting country to sell extra credit heavy in their emission savings limit to another country who have already surpassed the upper emission threshold.Cap, and trade emissions limits are fixed on industry for threshold pollution limit, which are progressively reduced once the previous target being achieved, thereby reducing pollution in stages. That to compels an industrial unit to buy carbon credit or technology transfer in order to pro-trade the limit set for carbon emissions.